Have you ever wondered about the glory and grandeur of the ancient Carthaginian civilization? Let's delve into history. In the coastal region of North Africa, where modern-day Tunisia now lies, a civilization began to flourish around the 9th century BC. This was Carthage, a city-state that would eventually evolve into a powerful maritime empire, thanks to its strategic location on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Its success was not a result of chance or sheer luck, but a clever exploitation of geography. Carthage controlled vital trade routes that connected 3 continents: the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. This control didn't just give them a say in the flow of goods, it also filled their coffers, making Carthage one of the wealthiest and most influential city-states in the region. But what made Carthage truly exceptional was its diversity. It was a melting pot of traders, farmers, artisans, and nobles, each playing their part in the city's growth and prosperity. Agriculture thrived on the fertile lands surrounding the city, producing cereals, olives, and grapes. Yet it was maritime trade that truly defined the Carthaginian economy. Carthage was a major commercial hub of the Mediterranean, engaging in transactions with other civilizations, such as the Greeks and Egyptians. Goods from far and wide found their way to the bustling markets of Carthage, further adding to its wealth and status. As Carthage grew, so did its ambitions. Its need for natural resources and trade routes led to the colonization of territories around the Mediterranean. These colonies, known as New Carthage, stretched from the Iberian Peninsula to Sicily and the North African coast. This marked the beginning of Carthage's transformation into a maritime power, setting the stage for a series of conflicts that would shape the course of Mediterranean history. Thus, the Carthaginian civilization began its journey, leveraging geography and trade to rise to prominence. The rise of Carthage is a testament to the power of strategic location, economic foresight, and cultural diversity. It was a civilization that knew how to use its strengths to its advantage, setting the stage for a story that would echo through the annals of history. Now that we know how Carthage rose to prominence, let's explore the day-to-day life of its citizens. Picture a society as diverse as the colors of a rainbow, with each shade representing a different role in the Carthaginian community. Traders, farmers, artisans, and nobles all found their place in this vibrant city-state, contributing to the rich tapestry of its civilization. The fertile lands surrounding Carthage, blessed with bountiful crops of cereals, olives, and grapes, played a crucial role in sustaining this diverse population. Agriculture was not just a way of life, but the lifeblood of the community, forming the bedrock of its economy. Beyond the fields and vineyards, the city was abuzz with the hustle and bustle of maritime trade. Carthage, strategically located on the shores of the Mediterranean, was a bustling hub of commercial activity. Its ports were a hive of constant activity, with ships coming and going, laden with goods from the far reaches of the known world. Trade was not just about the exchange of goods, but also ideas, cultures, and technologies. Through this lively exchange, Carthage became a melting pot of cultures, absorbing influences from the Greeks, Egyptians, and other Mediterranean civilizations. The city's thriving economy was intricately linked to its control over vital trade routes that connected the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. This strategic position, coupled with its robust economy, provided Carthage with significant wealth and influence in the region. However, it was not just about economic prowess. The Carthaginians were astute diplomats, forging alliances and navigating political landscapes with finesse, further strengthening their hold over the Mediterranean. So there you have it. Life in Carthage was far from mundane. It was a life pulsating with the vibrancy of trade, enriched by the fertility of agriculture, and spiced up with a generous dash of cultural exchange. The Carthaginians, with their enterprising spirit and indomitable resilience, built a civilization that stood the test of time, leaving a legacy that continues to echo through the annals of history. Life in Carthage was a blend of vibrant trade, fertile agriculture, and cultural exchange. From a prosperous city-state, Carthage expanded its territories far and wide. The city's strategic position on the Mediterranean shores, coupled with its thriving economy, made it a beacon for expansion. But what drove this expansion? The answer lies in the city's insatiable need for natural resources and control over pivotal trade routes. Carthage's expansion wasn't a random act of conquest, but a calculated move to secure its interests. The city's growing population needed an endless supply of food, and the artisans demanded raw materials. To meet these needs, the city turned its gaze towards the fertile lands and rich mines around the Mediterranean. The colonization of these territories was a masterstroke of Carthaginian strategy. From the Iberian Peninsula to Sicily and the North African coast, new colonies sprang up. These colonies, known as New Carthage, were more than just outposts. They were vibrant centers of trade and agriculture, providing Carthage with a constant flow of resources and wealth. But Carthage's expansion wasn't just about land and resources, it was also about control over the sea routes that crisscrossed the Mediterranean. These routes were the lifeblood of the ancient world, connecting Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. By establishing colonies along these routes, Carthage could control the flow of goods and information. This strategic dominance turned the city into a maritime powerhouse, rivaling even Rome for control of the sea. The expansion of Carthage was a testament to the city's power and influence, but it was also a source of tension and conflict. The city's growing influence didn't sit well with its neighbors, particularly Rome. This rivalry would eventually lead to a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars, which would shape the course of Mediterranean history. Carthage, at its zenith, was a formidable power that dominated the Mediterranean. Its expansion was a testament to its economic strength, strategic acumen, and maritime prowess. Even in the face of adversity, the city remained a beacon of prosperity and power in the ancient world. Religion was at the heart of Carthaginian society. Let's explore their divine world. In Carthage, religion was not a Sunday affair, but a daily, pervasive influence that permeated every aspect of life. It was a complex and rich tapestry, woven with threads of myth, ritual, and reverence that bound the community together. The pantheon of Carthaginian gods was vast and varied, reflecting the diverse influences that shaped their civilization over centuries. Among the multitude of deities, two stood out as particularly significant: Baal, the sun god, and Tanit, the moon goddess. Baal, the god of fertility and the sun, was seen as the giver of life and prosperity. His counterpart Tanit was the goddess of the moon and war. She was revered as the protector of Carthage, a divine guardian watching over the city and its people. The worship of these deities was not a silent private act, but a communal, public display of devotion. Temples and sanctuaries dotted the cityscape, each a hub of religious activity where the citizens gathered to honor their gods. The rituals were elaborate affairs featuring music, dance, and feasts. Yet they were not merely celebrations but solemn rites, performed to win the favor of the gods and ensure the city's prosperity. One of the most controversial aspects of Carthaginian religion was the practice of human sacrifice, particularly of children. While this has been a subject of much debate among historians, there is evidence to suggest that such rituals did take place, especially in times of crisis or calamity. These sacrifices, it was believed, appeased the gods and averted disaster. Religion in Carthage was not merely a belief system, but a way of life. It shaped their understanding of the world, guided their actions, and provided a moral compass. It was the glue that held their society together, a shared language that defined their identity and purpose. Religion was an integral part of Carthaginian society, influencing every aspect of their life. Every civilization has its decline. For Carthage, it was a dramatic end. The fall of this once prosperous city-state was not a swift or simple event, but a complex interplay of internal conflicts, commercial rivalries, and the rise of a new power in the Mediterranean, Rome. Carthage's success was its undoing. The wealth and influence amassed from controlling vital trade routes attracted the attention of rival powers. Rome, an emerging force, saw Carthage as a threat to its own expansion and dominance. This tension led to a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars, which drastically altered the course of Mediterranean history. The First Punic War saw both powers struggle for control over Sicily, a valuable piece of the Mediterranean puzzle. Despite their maritime prowess, the Carthaginians could not match the determination of the Romans and were forced to cede Sicily. The Second Punic War was marked by the audacious strategy of the Carthaginian general Hannibal, who led his army across the Alps to attack Rome on its home turf. But the Romans, resilient and strategic, eventually managed to turn the tide of the war in their favor, pushing Carthage back. The Third and final Punic War was, in essence, a death sentence for Carthage. Rome, grown powerful and ruthless, sought to eliminate the Carthaginian threat once and for all. In 146 BC, Roman forces under the command of Scipio Africanus invaded Carthage. The city was besieged, its citizens starved, and its walls finally breached. What followed was absolute devastation. The city was razed, its inhabitants sold into slavery, and its land sowed with salt to prevent any future resurgence. The fall of Carthage marked the end of an era, paving the way for the rise of Rome as the dominant power in the Western Mediterranean. A once thriving civilization, a hub of trade and culture, was reduced to ruins, its legacy living on in the annals of history and the echoes of its fallen glory.